Season of Discovery Phase 3 is here. Let's see what we're going to do as a Warlock tank, starting off with our stat priority. The first stat, of course, as a tank is stamina. This is going to give us more health. We do actually have a talent in particular that I am going to be showing you to take, which is also going to increase the amount of health we're getting from our stamina as well, making this even more of an important stat. Armor is the second one, of course, meaning that we're going to take less damage from melee hits when attacked. Now, obviously, we are a Warlock, and therefore we're wearing cloth armor. But don't forget, our Metamorphosis rune is actually going to increase our armor by 50%, making us a lot more tanky, and therefore making the armor points that we do get ever so much more impactful. The next one is going to be spell hit. We do need quite a lot of it. That's going to be quite difficult to hit that hit cap as a Warlock. There is a talent we can take to help with it. However, that is only going to impact our affliction spells, which we're not going to obviously be using tons of, and therefore it is quite difficult. So whenever you see hit on gear, this is going to be really important that you do try and take it. Of course, after that, it's spell power, increasing the damage of our spells. The build I'm going to be showing you today is more focused around threat generation and damage than survivability, mainly, and therefore spell damage is quite important. We've already spoken about armor, and now we're going on to agility. Agility is actually going to give you 10 armor per point of agility, and also some dodge chance, making this a really useful stat as Warlock tanks in Phase 3 as well. The next thing, of course, is what talents and runes are we going to take? Well, we're not actually going to go into Demonology anymore because of the nerf to Soul Link, where we can't use it when we're in Metamorphosis, meaning that most of the talents are going into Destruction for Phase 3. Starting off with 5 out of 5 into Cataclysm, reducing the mana cost of destruction spells by 5%, then going into Bane, reducing the casting time of a few of our core spells, namely Shadow Bolt, Immolate, and Soul Fire. After that, it's going to be 5 out of 5 into Devastation, increasing the critical strike chance of our destruction spells by a further 5%, and 2 out of 2 into Improved Firebolt with our Imp, reducing the casting time by 1 second. Something else we are going to put into, while we're on the topic of imps, is going to be 3 out of 3 into Improved Imp, increasing the effect of their Firebolt, Fire Shield, and Blood Pact. Blood Pact, remember, giving stamina to your party as well. This is actually really important, and imps can output quite a lot of damage. We're going to put 5 out of 5 into Improved Searing Pain, increasing the crit chance of it by 10%, which is massive and really, really helpful for outputting big chunks of damage when we're generating threat. 2 out of 2 into Intensity, giving a 70% chance to avoid interruption caused by damage when channeling our Rain of Fire, Hellfire, or Soul Fire spell, of course, on our big AoE. I'm going to put 1 point into Destructive Reach. If we could, I'd put 2 in there, but we don't have enough talent points, and I think extending our reach by a little bit is going to be useful and better than nothing. 1 point into Ruin, increasing the critical strike damage bonus of our destruction spells by 100%, so not increasing the crit chance, but the actual damage that we do when we crit. 2 points into Improved Immolate, increasing the initial damage of it by 10%. 5 into Ember Storm, increasing damage of our fire spells by 10% as well. And then the remaining 5% are going to go into Demonic Embrace, increasing our stamina by a whopping 15%. And that is what I spoke about earlier when we were talking about stat priorities and the stamina you're getting from talents there. Moving on to the runes, of course on the hands it's going to be Metamorphosis, transforming into a demon, increasing our armor by 500%. Sorry, not 50 that I said earlier, 500%, reducing the chance you'll be critically hit by 6%, which is massive, and increasing our threat generation by 50%. This is obviously the core talent we're taking as Demonology tanks. It is also going to increase the mana you get from your life tap by 100% as well. Searing Pain is now going to be instant. Shadow Bolt is now going to be Shadow Cleave, a shadow melee attack that hits up to 3 nearby enemies but has a 6-second cooldown. Fear is now Menace, taunts the attack to attack you, but has no effect if the target is already attacking you, therefore giving us a taunt as a Warlock, which of course we didn't have before. Demon Charge, charging an enemy and stunning it, cannot be used in combat. And Demonic Howl, which forces all nearby enemies to focus attacks on you for 6 seconds, being a mega taunt there. Of course, that is the talent we're going to be taking as a tank. On the chest, it's going to be Master Channeler. Your drain life is no longer channeled and lasts 15 seconds of a 15-second cooldown, meaning we can just keep it up on the target at all times. Costs 100% more mana and heals you 50% more each time it deals damage. On the pants, it's going to be Demonic Pact, where your pet's critical strikes are going to apply the Demonic Pact. This is going to be for 45 seconds and increases spell damage and healing by 10% of your spell damage, or 60 divided by 2, whichever is higher. And that is going to be on your party members, remember. We're going to go for the Grimoire of Synergy on our belt, granting damage done by you or your summoned pet by 5%, giving that a chance to increase damage by the other for 25% for 15 seconds. So it can proc on you, affecting your pet, or proc on your pet, affecting you. It's up to you which you pick on the feat. You can go for Dance of the Wicked, where you and your demon are going to get a dodge chance equal to your spell Critical Strike each time you deal a critical strike to an enemy, and also both regaining mana, or you can go for Demonic Knowledge. This is going to increase your spell damage and healing by an equal value of 10% of your demon's total stamina plus intellect. This is my favourite personally. And then on the head rune, which is the new phase 3 runes, of course, very exciting, we're going for Pandemic. Periodic damage from all of your dots can actually now crit, which is massive, namely your Corruption, Unstable Affliction, Curse of Agony, Immolate, Curse of Doom, Siphon Life abilities. Lastly then, on the wrist rune, I like to go for Immolation. Aura burns nearby enemies every 2 seconds and reduces all magic damage taken by 10%, and that actually is going to last until cancelled. But how does this all come together into an actual rotation then? So, Searing Pain is going to be our main threat generator. Don't forget that when you are in Metamorphosis, this is going to be instant cast. We're going to use our Incinerate and keep that up for the 25% fire buff. Menace, remember, this is your main taunt that's been changed. Demonic Howl, it's on a very long cooldown, by the way, is your AoE taunt. Your Shadow Cleave we can use on AoE cleaving. Remember, that's your new Shadow Bolt. And then we've got Immolate, which we can use and keep that up at all times to increase damage and threat generation as well. And then your Shadow Burn you can use when on the move or as a finisher, which will generate a Soul Shard. Don't forget to obviously have your Metamorphosis on. Use your Immolation aura on, that's going to do AoE damage as well. And then the other two things that aren't on here really is using your Curse of Recklessness, which is going to increase melee damage but reduce armor of your enemy, making it more vulnerable to everyone's attacks. And then Corruption, which is quite simply a damage over time that you can keep up on the enemy. Apart from that, you're really just going to be spamming your Searing Pain. That is the bread and butter of this spec. I hope this was useful for you guys. I hope you're enjoying tanking in SoD Phase 3. If you need any more questions or help, etc., please do join our Discord. We've got a really friendly and helpful community. Or you can join my Patreon, which obviously helps support the channel and get these videos out. I only do this part-time alongside my 9 to 5, so it really does help and I do appreciate it. And you get lots of behind the scenes footage, guides and spreadsheets, and also a VIP channel in Discord where you can chat and ask questions in as well. If you're looking for more SoD Phase 3 guides, check out my channel homepage. You can see here there is a current SoD playlist with everything you need in it, including every single spec that there is to play. I always keep this shelf up to date for the latest season guides. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in SoD Phase 3.